Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We're back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So, let's see. We were continuing to explore Dresden. Did we explore all the rooms here? We did, looks like it. I did go ahead and respec a couple of characters, so let's walk through that. I respect my character to take out all of the spell penetration feats and spell penetration mythic, because I plan to only use Lich spells, and all of the Lich spells are not affected by a target spell resistance. So there's no need to have spell penetration on if you're only using Lich abilities. I also changed the Lich minion. I actually did a video that, if it's not dropping today, it'll probably drop tomorrow, walking through all the different Lich templates, and in my opinion, the Marksman is the best one. You get the best, cleanest list of feats with that particular template. All the other ones, when I looked at them, I was like, this is a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't have chosen for a person playing this type of position. So I decided to switch that up, and then he automatically comes with a +3 longbow, composite longbow, and then I just put on some medium armor, breastplate armor, but hopefully we're going to get something better for him long term. I did also respec land, like I talked about before, made him a Zen Archer Pure, 9th level, so I'm much happier with that. So we do no longer have the wolf. So I did decide, though, we're going to keep the same team. So Sayo, what's this girl's name? Nanio, Lan, Rizal, and Camellia. We're going to move forward with them. Long term, I plan to go with a full undead team anyway. I don't know who all the people are that I'm supposed to recruit, but none of these people are permanent members of the team anyway, so no real point in going out of our way to try to get the perfect team made up of people that we're not going to be using, hopefully, in Act 5. We'll see how quickly the game allows us to switch these people out with the folks that we really want. That does also mean that a couple of days fast forwarded while I was respecing. So before we leave, we'll check back on Crusade Management. Hopefully some of those projects that I started up should be about to complete, so we can get some new ones started and then head out. We will, hold on. What brings you here? And nothing to say. Okay, cool. We will go pick up Arueshalae first. Then we will go deal with the dragon. There is some sort of a time limit on doing that dragon quest with Greybor, but I don't have a clear understanding of how much time it actually is. But I do know it's not crazy where if you don't go right then, you've screwed it up. This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. So for now, let's just get our shopping done, clear out our inventory, and then hit the road. Okay, we don't need that. I don't think, right? Yeah, we don't need that. Whole iron dagger. I also realized that I accidentally sold the dagger you get that you can use on the wardstone to make the Aeon decision. I'm pretty sure I still had it when I walked away, but at some point it must have unselected from my inventory. So I got to see if there's a way to get that back. I want him to use Soul Shear, but if I remember correctly, there's some sort of Crusade management project that involves this glaive, and it just disappears from your hand while you're doing it. So I don't want it to be his main weapon or his only weapon. And let's see, you can't use this, right? Or rather you could, but it's not all that great for you. Actually, no. Yep, that helps him. Okay, I take it back, and you could definitely make use of that. You got a second ring slot doing a whole lot of nothing. Let's make sure we deal with that when we can. What you looking at? Yep. And then take that out. What does Chameleon have? Regular stuff. Okay, cool. And physical form, dexterity, and constitution. Sure, you can have that. Why not? And just constitution. Heavy paws. We don't have, we don't have a pet that we're taking on a regular basis, so we can ignore that. Wisdom +2. Anybody make, so Sail, you can make use of that. Yeah, sure, why not? And mental flow, intelligence and charisma. Sure. Why not? That's to be sold. Blood scent. It's a +2 cloak of resistance. Does everybody have a +2 cloak of resistance? What's that? Interesting. And yep, looks like we're all good. Okay. Yep, so everybody's at, oh wait. Nope. Here we go. All right, and this is +3. Hey. You can take that. What's this? Armor's a +2. You don't have anything here, so might as well. And lesser braces of archery. What do you have here? Protection? No, sir, you don't need no protection. But who does need protection is you. I forgot about you just that quick. Yikes. Give you that dexterity. You might as well take that. It's sitting there. You're good on the rest of this. Let's see. +1 luck bonus on attack roll. Yeah, you know what? We'll give you the dice. Why not? Why not? Make you feel like family. All right. You can take that off. I can channel my own energy. Thank you very much. And anything down here? Nope. So that's all we needed. Now let's talk to our arsenal. A woman in gold embroidered cleric's robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, gleam brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arsenal. I am a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use the services of a cleric. Perhaps you've heard about the wound that sometimes opens in my chest. Are you familiar with this kind of ailment? Arsenal quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So the wound was right here? And then it disappeared and reappeared. Amazing. No, this is the first time I've ever heard of such magic. What do you think it might be? I think it's some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound into your body and made it so unstable. It sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. Can you give me some advice on how to heal it? I am sure that you have already used the purification and chaos warding spells, and for obvious reasons, you do not have the option of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I'm afraid this is the only advice I can offer right now. I want you to try to heal me. I'm sorry, but I do not have the right to do that. A healer who makes a blind attempt to heal a patient who is not on the verge of death is an irresponsible fool. You do not seem to be dying, so we will not take any unnecessary risk. Thank you, it all makes sense to me now. Take care of yourself, Commander. What services do you provide? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. Even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them, I'll be happy to read it for you right here. However, take care out there on your travels. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll while you're on the move, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells or someone skilled in magical devices. Tell me more about Abadar. I'd be delighted to. Abadar is the patron deity of law, trade, and the prosperity of cities. He teaches that law and order allow civilization to develop and keep people safe and wealthy. Iyamade and Abadar are allies, since Iyamade also holds order and nobility above all else. It's hardly surprising to see so many mighty fortresses and wonderful cities in Mendev bloom under her blessing. How did you end up in Dresden? My story has grown longer and longer over the years, yet sadly, It never gets any more interesting. I was born and raised in Absalom. Soon I realized that bringing the word of Abadar to places where it's already been heard was too easy a challenge for a cleric like me. I have traveled all across Golarion since then, watching civilization bring enlightenment to the wildest of places. This brings joy to my heart and makes me feel like I serve my God with my deeds and not only with my words. The tiny barony and the lost stolen lands that had been my home for a very long time eventually turned into a strong and prosperous kingdom, and I felt that I had to go somewhere else and bring the blessing of Abadar to someone who really needed it. It will take quite a long time for Dresden to recover and become an unfailing stronghold once again. I will do my very best to help. You're an Aasimar, if I'm not mistaken? Oh yes, I am an Aasimar. Hard to miss, isn't it? I look exactly like my great-great-grandmother, but I am the only one among my kin to have Aasimar blood manifest so visibly in my appearance. I have to admit that it is a very fortunate coincidence. My Aasimar features are rather appealing and make people trust me more easily. This is a good quality to have for a priestess wishing to gather a congregation. I see that you have consecrated the altar of Abadar. So I have. And before you ask me why I did this when there is a temple of Iomedae in Dresden, I will answer. Even though my god is the ally of the inheritor, some still prefer to pray and trust in Abadar instead of her. After all, my humble altar is no worse at removing the corruption of the abyss than the grandiose altar in the temple of Iomedae. I could use the help of a cleric. That is precisely why I'm here. Okay, let's see. Burned Ashwood. Burning Arc spell at will as a 5th level wizard. Half the pair. Half the pair will be very useful once we have the other part. So we'll wait until then to get it. Battle Mage's Headband, +2 Wisdom, +2 Charisma. Ring of Pyromania, more damage on fire spells. That's not useful to us on this particular playthrough. Mental Form, Mental Might, Intelligence and Wisdom, Intelligence and Charisma. It's all just +2. Scriber's Kit, bunch of scrolls. Con Man's Ring, +5 competence on Perception and Trickery. +5 on Trickery would help Camellia. I'll keep that in mind. Lesser Empower Wand. I can't remember. Do I have? I don't know what the status is on my wand right now. What do you have? You have a wand, I know that. So I have a Lesser Extend Metamagic Wand. What do you have? Okay, Maximize. So we do not have Empower. Let's go ahead and take it. Bookworm, +2 in Intelligence. Damage Resistance Specialist. Glowing Croissant. Pretty sure I already have that. Alchemist. Okay, that's it. So the only thing we need from her is that necklace. And we'll come back for that once we have the other half. Boom, boom. Let's go up here. And now let's familiarize ourselves with their inventory. See what else we might want. Exotic weapons provider. Anything here that I'd be interested in? Nope. Nope, nothing there. Okay, cool. And oh, actually, I wanted to also make sure. Again, I'm looking for that freaking dagger. It's that purple dagger. I am hoping that I just sold it to one of these vendors here and I could just buy it back. Wilser, you would probably be the one who has it. The bearded quartermaster gives you a friendly nod. What can I do for you? Are you going to manage the fortress now? No way, Commander. The quartermaster throws up his hands. Not in a million years. I can manage an expedition just fine, but running a fortress is a different kettle of fish. That's enough work to make a man's head explode, which is why they sent us an expert for Neurosian. Her name is Dorgalinda Stranglehold. I've seen how she handles things. She knows what she's about. That one, Iomedae bless her. She'll be managing the fortress, and I'll keep taking care of the soldiers just like I've been doing. I have to go. Okay. So, talk to him. Eviscerating Doom. Holy Speed Composite Short Bow. I was just thinking that even though, let's see. Yeah, this is just a composite longbow. Since Land is using the longbow, and I'm pretty sure there's another undead party member you get who also uses the longbow, probably makes more sense for my minion to use the short bow. So I'll do that, but not right now. Not for 72,000. Sheesh. We're going to hold off on that. And, ooh, this glaive +2, though. So Sail could probably... You know what? No, we're going to hold off. See what happens with that glaive if it ends up missing again. Dagger +1, dagger +1. Short spear. Quarter span spear. Cookery. Who's got gnome hooked hammers? Scythe, composite longbow +2. Okay, nothing here that I'd be interested in except for the short bow, which I might come back for at a later time. And we'll go with the blacksmith. He's actually got some cool stuff now that we're in Dresden, but it's nothing that we would use. Ancient root club. Yeah, we're good on all this. All right. Sell that. That's a sort of hope. And was there anything down here that I want to chuck? Nope. Nope, we're good. Okay, cool. All right, so only thing from this area. One short bow and the other half of that necklace combo, which would be easy to remember to get, because as soon as I pick up that necklace, I'll be like, oh man, let me go ahead and get the other half. Jewelry trader, what do you have? I know you have some stuff that I want. Okay, Amulet of Clarity. +2 to the DC for all saving throws against mind-affecting abilities used by the wielder. So Nanio can make use of that, absolutely. +5 competence bonus on persuasion checks and grants their companions a +1 morale bonus on all skill checks. Now this sounds good, but it's also duplicated by heroism. But now that I think about it, I haven't really spec'd Nanio to use heroism. We're still going to hold off on that. We might circle back around. Agile Fist, we don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. We're not buying diamonds yet. We could get the Ring of Protection, but I'm not going to. These goggles allow the wearer to take 20 on their next dispel magic attempt and also give a +1 bonus to cast a level text to overcome spell resistance. I will give this to Nanio. You know what? Do you? Oh, you've got something better than that anyway. Yeah, deal. Okay. So, where's she at? Here we go. You can take this. And you can also take this. Should help you pierce through enemy defenses better. The Lich gets this automatically. Alright, what's this? Source of Dividing Power. When you summon creatures, we're not playing the summoner. You can get a +5 competence bonus on athletics, not right now. +5 competence on knowledge world, +5 competence on persuasion, and a +2 enhancement bonus to charisma. We're good on that. Skin leather cloak. The enemy must pass a saving throw or take 2 points of constitution drain. And this is whenever you land a hit. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Doesn't Land have a version of this? I thought there was somebody else who had a version of this right now. Well, regardless, I'm giving it to you now, Land. And let's see, what else? How much money I got? Okay, so I'm still at 100K. Cloak of Resistance +3. We're not going to buy that right now. Celestial Protection, what is this? And a +5 competence bonus on Low Religion. We're good on that. This is for monks, right? We're good on that. Animal Fury. +3 enhancement when you're polymorph. No. Immunity Fire. No. Scrolls. Wand of Ray of Frost. Don't need that. Don't need regular Dispel. If anything, I would take the Greater Dispel. So here we go. Dispel Magic Greater. You know, and I'll take one of those. Just when you need a Dispel, it really sucks not to have one. Stone Fist, Molten Orb. Corrosive Touch, Create Pit. I'm good on all that. Touch of Gracelessness, Hideous Laughter, Frigid Touch, Pernicious Person, Dragon Breath, and Soul Reaver. No, I'm not getting any of that. Who's gonna hit the most often? Probably Land. Oh, you've been wearing counterfeit jewelry this whole time? Well, hell yeah, get that crap up off you. And you can take that. Oh, that's what I also... Crap. I forgot I need some light armor. So yeah, should have paid more closer attention with that other vendor. Oh, well. Okay. That does it for the vendors. I know I need some light armor, but I'm sure we'll come across some in our travels. I'm not that worried about it. So we head towards Molten Scar. No, actually, we're going to go to the Kobold first, follow up with him. Then head towards Molten Scar, pick up Arueshalae on the way. We can take this off. All right, and well, let's see what they have to say. Before you stands a tall, fit man whose dark hair is already tinged with gray. He greets you with a brisk military salute. My name is Captain Seilkind. I command the vanguard of a mercenary group called the Blackstone Company. We've come here from Onderon to assist you. I want to know more about your unit. The Blackstone Company is proud to be recognized as one of the finest Andoran mercenary regiments. We're not a bunch of unscrupulous sellswords looking to oppress the innocent and serve the tyrants of the world. No, we're adventurers, eager to get involved in a dangerous enterprise and leave it with pockets full of gold and a clear conscience. Which is why we held a vote among our units. We were glad to accept Queen Galfrey's invitation to join the Crusade, though some of our commanders did voice their displeasure with the sum she offered. But like I said, we Andorans are free people who cannot be pushed around and cannot be bought, only convinced. Why'd you join up with us? Queen Galfrey paid for our services, but please do not think we're fighting for gold alone. We are true sons and daughters of Onderon, so the ideals of equality and resisting enslavement ring true in our hearts. We will be glad to stand in the way of demons who seek to force mortal kind into bondage. The bulk of our company made camp in Nerosian, but the vanguard, consisting of our finest soldiers, if I may add, was put under your command. I want to know more about you, Captain Seilkind. The man flashes a genuine smile. I don't even know what to say. I am a soldier, a bit of an explorer, and just an all-around honest man. Get on with your duties. Yes, sir. Glad to be under your command. Captain Seilkind salutes you, again, smiles, and adds in a softer voice. It would be an honor to serve with you, Commander. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need to talk, I'd be happy to lend an ear. Grandma Gretlen lowers herself into a bow. Good day, your commandership. It is we, the artistic board of the Next Door Theater. We are still working on our piece about your heroism. We have even taken a few new crew members. We now have a master of stage equipment and scenery. It's my granddaughter, Tina. Tina, say hello to his commandership. We are faced with another dilemma. We simply can't decide on a climatic moment for the act that's all about the Battle of Dresden. Here, you listen to the options. Grandma Gretlen holds a scroll up before her eyes and begins to read, running a gnarled finger along each line. Option 1. The commander, so that's you, launches himself out of a catapult and smashes down the fortress wall, allowing the armies to rush inside. Option 2. The commander, so that's you again, masquerades as a succubus and creeps into Dresden in disguise and then opens the gates to the Crusaders. Option 3. The commander, so that's you again, rides to the attack on an enormous mountain goat, or should we call it a battering ram, and it breaks down the city gates. Well, what say you? I like the version where I ride on the back of a enormous mountain goat. But where are you going to get a goat that size? We're still working on that part, your commandership. It's hard to get a goat in the middle of the Worldwound, especially an enormous one. But we'll think of something. Don't you worry. Grandma Gretlen and her entourage move away, but their voices project so well that you can easily hear the rest of the conversation. Do you think the commander will mind if we add the goat and the catapult to the show? That way the bit where he breaks down the gates will make for much better drama. Granny, did you forget that the role of the commander is being played by those gnome twins packed into one long cloak? Has anyone ever tried firing two gnomes in a cloak out of a catapult before? Calm yourself, Tina. It's just a minor snag. You can't achieve success without a few difficulties along the way. We'll think of something. You'll see. Ooh, let's go. The grim voice of Zacharius the Lich suddenly booms inside your mind. Student, you have proven yourself a worthy crusader. To defeat the demons in this war, you have fearlessly sought the secrets of death. Your determination deserves respect. Now we can proceed with your great transformation into a Lich. For that, I shall need a suitable laboratory where I can scrutinize and condition your spiritual body in solitude, preparing it for rebirth. As for you, you will need a palace from which you will rule over legions of the dead. Give the order to erect a ziggurat in Dresden. Zacharias' imperious voice betrays a hint of vanity. It must be an imposing building, one worthy of receiving me as its guest. This is where you will discover eternal life. If the need arises to demolish a few buildings for the construction, ensure that they are located far enough away from the squalor of the slums. I do not wish for my ingredient stores to be ravaged by rats. As you wish, Master Zacharias. You display sensible obedience. That is good. For that I shall reward you generously. Get on with it. The tall, gaunt half-elf salutes you solemnly. Commander, it's an honor to call this first meeting of the Military Council to order. I am Captain O'Dane, and I've been serving under your command ever since the assault on the Grey Garrison. I will do my best to be as of much use to you as possible in this role. The foundation of the military is cold calculation and discipline. These are the principles I will seek to impart to the Crusaders. If we are to win this war, we must forget about mercy, for our enemies, for our troops, and for ourselves. Well, Commander, your sister Seela is no renowned general, but she spent half her life tussling with evil. It looks like I'll be stepping up on behalf of the I Am a Day's faithful here. I hope my advice will prove useful. The first issue on the Military Council's agenda is a reorganization of troops. Our infantry has been bled dry. The forces Her Majesty granted to us were enough to take Dresden, but we need more troops to hold it. Furthermore, the army was assembled in great haste after the assault on Kenabres and was never adequately equipped. Unfortunately, we don't have much time for redeployment. Our scouts report that a powerful Baelor, Khorramzada, is already preparing a retaliatory strike on Dresden. But we can rely on freshly conscripted Mendevian soldiers. They may not have the skill, but our strength, as always, lies in the number and the fervor of the volunteers joining the Crusades. We can't throw everyone into the meat grinder. We'll just get our youths killed for nothing. We need to select the best among the recruits, or even better, hold a contest. The bravest and the most capable will join the Crusaders. The death count is always highest in the infantry. Its purpose is to serve as a shield. It would be wise to invest our resources in hiring and training heavy footmen with shields to ensure maximum protection, even if it limits their mobility and makes them less threatening to the enemy. Captain O'Dane, what does the Military Council do? The Military Council determines the strategy for our troops, enacts army reforms, approves new equipment standards, and makes decisions on all issues regarding military action on the front lines. Who is this Baelor Khorramzada? The most trusted servant of the Demon Lord Deskari. Among the historians of the Mendevian Crusades, he's known as the strategist of the Worldwound. He's not as renowned as Monago, the conqueror of Dresden, or Hebzimira, daughter of Baphomet, but he has claimed the most major victories over the forces of Mendev. He's a general, and quite possibly one of the best tacticians in the entire Abyss. I've been studying his style of warfare for years. He may seem like an ordinary demon, another typical war taskmaster, but that's a fallacy. Like a beast following a scent, he senses weaknesses in his enemy's defenses and strikes at them, sending soldiers to bring targeted carnage. His uncanny charisma attracts more and more soldiers to him, so he's never short on troops and sacrifices them like pawns whenever he pleases in order to achieve his victories. Cruoromancer is the face of the demon host. For many years I've been gathering research on him, preparing for the day our armies would clash with his once more. I hope my council will help you defeat him, but so far, Cruoromancer has known no defeats. I have a question for my advisors. We're ready to answer any questions you may have, Commander. Sela, have you ever commanded an army before? Not on a scale like this, of course not. But I fought evil and I know its tricks. Besides, war makes people callous, and it's always useful to have a paladin advisor around to remind you at a critical moment what we're actually fighting for, right? Regil, why do you wish to sit on the military council? I have command experience, and I intend to impart to the Crusades at least a modicum of the discipline and rigidity of the Hell Knights. The quality of the Mendevian staff currently available to you leaves much to be desired. Regil glances at the wincing Captain O'Dane. That much is certain. Who are you, Captain O'Dane? Captain O'Dane bows ceremoniously. I've served on the front lines of the Mendevian army for over 25 years, and in that time I've gained a wealth of combat experience. His voice sounds calm, but his face darkens at the mention of a wealth of combat experience. I'm considered one of the foremost experts on tactics and strategy in Queen Galfrey's officer corps. I spent my whole life studying the craft of warfare, and I'm familiar with the thoughts of all prominent military leaders of the last 5 centuries. Furthermore, I wholeheartedly believe in the traditions of Mendev's military art, and will gladly share my knowledge with you, Commander. I have no more questions. We're glad to be of service, Commander. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Everyone looks at you expectantly. Sela, do we really need only the bravest and most capable for our infantry? I mean, we can't send untrained rookies to a slaughter. We have the right to command only those who are ready for battle, those who could defeat the enemy. We must find out who has the skill and the guts. Contests are perfect for that, and a little excitement for our warriors wouldn't hurt either. We won't get that many winners, but their strength will come from their prowess, not their numbers. Your proposal would leave us with an infantry full of selfish risk-takers, dreaming of glory and valor. That is bad material for a soldier. The infantry's role is to be a shield for the archers and mages. All they're required to do is follow orders and hold the line, unto victory or death. Ambitious loners cherry-picked through contests of skill are not fit to perform this duty. Regil, why do you insist on shield bearers? The infantry is a meat shield intended to catch the blade of the opposing army in its flesh. The shield must be reliable. That is all that is required of it. That is why I would like to see well-armored shield bearers at our foot shoulders. We must have the option of pitting ranks of footmen against a tide of rampaging demons, knowing with certainty that they will not scatter or die until they have completed their task. Captain O'Dane, you just want to gather up some recruits from Mendev? Yes, institute a draft and try to amass as many new soldiers from Mendev and other lands as we can. We've always drawn our strength from our zeal and our determination to oppose evil. If we start holding contests or selections, we'll turn a holy crusade into a job for the chosen few and scare away future volunteers. If we try changing our tried and true tactics, we'll lose valuable time, and our army is in need of fresh blood right now. Everything is clear to me now. Your advisors nod respectfully in response to your words. Okay. Contest, you get champions. Shield bearers, you get shield bearers. And last one, you get conscripts. So last time I went with champions, let's see what shield bearers are like. We'll go with 5. Regil's expression remains impenetrable. I will monitor the recruiter's work and the preparation of all necessary equipment. Captain O'Dane salutes you formally. Thank you for your time, Commander. When the reforms are finished and the ranks of our infantry are replenished, I will assemble the military council to discuss new decisions. A sharp-looking kitsune gives you a quick, business-like bow. Commander, the matter before us are urgent, so let's not stand on ceremony. I am Lady Konami, the official attaché of Nerosian. Here are my credentials. She presents a scroll adorned with Galfrey's seal. Her Majesty has instructed me to lead your headquarters diplomatic council. Honestly, I was surprised when Lady Konami asked me to join this council, but I will do my best to fill the shoes of a trained diplomat. Yeah, strange. I got invited to the council too. I'm sure foreign ambassadors will be thrilled to see my face and my manners. Lady Konami, you haven't mistaken me for some other Crusader lad, have you? I, like many nobles, have been trained in diplomacy and, in fact, I hold the title of Royal Emissary. It is passed down the Arende line. I must say that prior to this day, I employed my diplomatic skills solely to undermine Mendev's international reputation. It is time to break the habit. I imagine preventing international scandals will be just as interesting as causing them. Who knows? I might even enjoy it. What's the diplomatic council and why do I need it? To solve matters of politics, of course. The Crusade is more than just battles and sieges. It is the largest military project in all of Avestan, funded by the treasures of more than a dozen major powers. And each one of those powers, in addition to seeking victory over the demons, also pursues its own goals. The Diplomatic Council will manage this tangle of political interest and prevent the Crusade from losing the favor of influential benefactors, and while we're at it, ensure that Nerosian remains satisfied with the state of affairs. After all, for the last 100 years, the entirety of Mendevian politics has revolved around the Crusaders in some shape or form. That is why the capital has sent me here, to observe, offer suggestions, and keep the diplomatic situation under control. I see. You've been sent to keep an eye on me. Whatever gave you that idea, Commander? I'm not an overseer. I'm your loyal advisor. I do not intend to meddle in the way you run things, just consult with you in cases where the price of air is too high. Put your trust in me, and we'll get along swimmingly. After all, none of us here want to see Cheliacs and drama at each other's throats, trying to settle their dispute by using their influence on us as political leverage. Am I wrong? And I doubt you would like it if we made enemies in the ranks of Nerosian nobility who would attempt to undermine your war effort. This won't happen as long as you trust my experience. Tell me more about the Royal Council. What is it? The Royal Council, operating under Her Majesty, is the highest governing body in Mendev and comprises her most able and trusted servants. It is responsible for day-to-day matters of state. They are the hands and the voice of the Queen. The council has gathered people from all walks of life. Some of them are nobles, but many more are citizens of humble origins who earned their positions through their wit. Many are rich, but a fair number of them are of more humble means. Some are pious and pure of heart, like Lord Inquisitor Kosori and Captain Jaspar of the Crusader Heralds. Others are more flexible and ambitious, but each of them faithfully serves Mendev's cause. I have a question about the composition of this council. Do you find someone's presence surprising? Sosale has never had to deal with diplomatic concerns before. That won't be a problem. In my homeland, Tianzia, inviting clerics and paladins of Shellen, the Lady of Chrysanthemis, to take part in diplomatic missions is a common practice. They may not be politicians, but they are perceptive, advocate peace, and favor balanced solutions. I'm flattered by the respect that the worshippers of my goddess receive in Lady Konami's homeland. Sosale bows his head courteously. I won't let you down, Professor Snape, and I'll make every effort to prevent our friends from becoming our enemies. Why did you want Darren to take part in the council? Why, because of Court Arende's influence, naturally. He's a Mendevian aristocrat. The nobility would be inclined to listen to his opinion, and by ensuring the support of the nobles, we'll find ourselves powerful allies. Darren sneers back at her. Oh, believe me, Lady Konami, I will exert all my effort and influence to make this council's job exciting. Why did you choose land to join the council? We diplomats call this little trick Mysterious Garundi Prince. During negotiations, it's always useful to have on your side a representative of some obscure but potentially populous and powerful nation. Without knowing what they're up against and how many Mongols there are, our diplomatic partners will have to contend with this dark horse. So, Mr. Land will be our Mongol prince. If we're negotiating with foreign ambassadors and I make this sign, Lady Konami crosses her fingers in an intricate gesture, you immediately start talking about how offensive their proposition is to the Mongol people. Do we have a deal, Mr. Land? Land scoffs and glowers at Lady Konami. I suspected that the word diplomat was synonymous with fraud, but I thought you would be deceiving me, not deceiving others with my help. No, that's not an option. I can represent the Mongols in negotiations, but I'm not going to lie through my teeth. Respect a man of principles. Tell me about yourself, Lady Konami. Who are you? Lady Konami lowers her eyes in a show of modesty. It's unbecoming of a diplomat to talk about themselves at length. But how am I to refuse you? I come from Tianxia, from the noble Kitsune. Like any Kitsune, I've always been curious to a fault, and my adventures brought me to Avestan. And here, in your lands, I'm at my first and true love, politics. I've served as a diplomat in the courts of 6 different sovereigns, but working for Her Majesty turned out to be the most interesting of all. Such riveting webs of intrigues and interest are spun around the Crusade and the Worldwound. Everything is clear to me now. In that case, why don't we discuss our first pressing diplomatic issue? What's on the Council's agenda today? Whoops, sorry. I hate to say it, Commander, but not everyone in Nerosian is pleased with your progress. Some believe that, to use their words, you are out of control and fancy yourself an independent leader. It wouldn't surprise me if you encounter supply disruptions in the near future. I would suggest quelling their anger. Show the capital you haven't forgotten about the chain of command. For example, you could hold a parade in honor of Her Majesty. If we need to demonstrate that we're keeping Nerosian in mind, why don't we invite the capital's high priest to Dresden for a religious festival? It'll be appropriate, and the church's support will shield us from the accusations of schemers. Pander to the naysayers? I think not. I propose we hold a parade in your honor, Professor Snape. This is your victory, and if Cousin Galfrey wants to show off in front of the soldiers, she's welcome to capture something of her own. Land's eyes flash with anger. Are they out of their mind? We've got a whole Dresden full of soldiers who need medicine, food, and weapons. Until everyone has been taken care of, we can't waste a single coin on pointless celebrations. What did I do to incur Nerosian's discontent? You were too good. You were Clan Canabras, you won the Battle of Dresden, you're a menace to the Worldwound. Your authority grows and the influence of the Queen's confidence diminishes. This creates the impression that there's only enough space for you at the top. The members of the Royal Council are afraid that you will muscle them out of the political arena altogether. After all, if you're doing so well, maybe Her Majesty doesn't need them that much. Therefore, they may try to discredit you, impede your war effort, reduce the scale of your victories, make some concessions, and they'll see that you're open to negotiations. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Lady Konami gives you a look of surprise. Whatever for? Aren't the wishes of the capital obvious enough? Although, very well, let us hear from the council. So, Sael, how does inviting the high priest to a festival help us? Without a doubt, we should remain loyal to the Queen and respect the hierarchy, but that doesn't mean we have to kowtow to the Royal Council whenever they ask. I think we should neither do their bidding nor seek to quarrel with them. Rather, we should try to take the middle path. The High Priest of Nerosian is a powerful figure, yet he's not a schemer or a politician. By inviting him to the festival, we'll both show that we're not cutting ties with Nerosian and let them know that we have influential friends and are not about to buckle under to the Royal Council. Darren, what's the point of taunting the capital by throwing a parade in my honor? There's a fine line between taunting and setting boundaries, and between showing respect and putting on a collar. Mind you, I'm not suggesting anything treasonous or disrespectful. A parade in honor of the true hero of Dresden and Canabras. What could be more natural than that? Besides, a healthy amount of disobedience guarantees that people won't pester you with lectures and nonsense as often. A dozen tutors responsible for my upbringing can attest to that. Provoking the capital would be unwise. We're trying to avoid unpleasant consequences, not expedite them. I'm sure that was merely an extravagant jest on the Count's part. Land, do you think ignoring the capital's worries is a good idea? And what are they going to do about it? We're the ones protecting them from the demons, not the other way around. Having loyalties from the capital is great, but there are more important things, like having the loyalty of our own soldiers. When the demons come, what shall we do? Shake our fists and say we've got powerful friends in Nerosian? Why, that's true. Who needs to stay friends with those who supply you with provisions, recruits, and weapons? There's certainly no reason to fear that base jealousy and envy at the sight of your glory might get the better of their common sense, because that has never happened before. Lady Konami, what good will a parade in Her Majesty's honor do? It will be symbolic and affordable. Show them how much you respect and value Her Majesty. Make a curtsy to those who pay for your arrows, swords, and bread. The Royal Council has power. You wouldn't want to turn those patrons into adversaries and test those whose influence is greater, yours or theirs. Please them, and they will stop worrying about your loyalty, and you will be able to focus on your war. So let me get this straight. Hiding behind our back and buying their safety from the demon invasion with bread and other people's lives is a new form of charity? Are you sure we shouldn't go to them, drop to our knees, and thank them for allowing us to die in this war? Everything is clear. Then I will arrange for the organization of festivities in Queen Galfrey's name. Let's see what each of these does. So each of them unlocks a different decree that will help you in different ways. We're going to go with Darren, organize a parade in my honor. This is part of his downfall. Now he's truly on the path to Lich. He has real command over the undead, and honestly, he's feeling himself. He's starting to think, these crusades have been going on for centuries with no headway. I step in and all of a sudden everything has changed. There should be a parade for me. People should be following me. People should be happy about what I'm doing. And so frankly, this makes sense to him, and his connection to Queen Galfrey and the Crusades and his overall original intent, it's already starting to erode. Darren, organize a parade in my honor. A moment, Commander. I understand that you're used to being the highest authority in all matters, but political decisions are an exception. I am a professional in this field. You are not. By ignoring my recommendations, you are not only deliberately seeking conflict with the capital, but disregarding common sense as well. I urge you to reconsider. You've invited my companions to the diplomatic council, and now you refuse to listen to their opinions? I'm simply suggesting that you give your companions time to find their feet in the council and to grasp the principles of being a diplomat. Also, if they weren't on the council, your decisions could be mistaken for the decrees of a tyrant, and that is definitely not the public image you need. Now I understand the role that I've been given, Lady Konami. I'm supposed to stand in a pretty doublet and keep my mouth shut. I can promise you the former, but not the latter. You think you have the right to talk back to me? She shrugs disarmingly. I do hope you'll forgive me this little revolt. I am merely doing my job by trying to satisfy my superiors from the capital, who are, incidentally, your superiors as well. There will be a parade in my honor whether you like it or not. Lady Konami's voice hardens. I cannot challenge your decision. However, I have no choice but to inform the capital that you have disregarded my recommendations. Actions like these are precisely what gave Nerosian cause for concern, Commander. I hope you will revise this defiant stance in the future. Oh, this is going to be one glorious parade. I'll make sure of it. An appropriate balance between spectacle and military pragmatism. The best musicians playing hymns, aesthetically pleasing warriors. After this, recruits from all over Aveston will come running to fight under your banner. And with that, we can bring this meeting of the Diplomatic Council to a close. It is unfortunate that things were so tense, but I'm sure we'll soon have many more opportunities to resolve any misunderstandings between us. All right. So, if I remember, I don't know how it is now, but in the beta, building the ziggurat took forever. I hope they decide to speed that up, but we shall see. A council of officers seasoned in the art of war. We read that. And we read that. Okay. What's this? Military tribunal. All units gain chance to skip it has to do to negative morale, reduced by 5%. Why is our morale being impacted? Issue decree. Banner of victories. Oh, I need to go out and kill something. It's fine. It's fine. This takes forever, right? It takes 14 days to resolve. We're going to hold off on that. Wait a minute. Why can't I construct the ziggurat? This was the same thing? Cancel. Cancel that. Wait, no. It's just not letting me. Lich, Zacharius. Oh, not enough resources. 150 of the building materials. There we go. Whoops. Close out of that. All right. Whew, 30 days. That's awful. But it is what it is. Sacrifices must be made. This is 7 days. We can deal with that. Okay. Did both of those. Now what? Dresden is... Stuff in Dresden still building up. Let's start building out some of our forts. So, in these little fort areas, you want to build your garrison so that you have more allies to recruit. We're just going to go ahead and get myself 500 of these. There we go. Definitely want archers. Definitely want barracks. Not sure about stables right now. Supply centers. Yes. I don't need a watchtower. I'm probably not going to be fighting in this area all that often, so we'll leave it at that for now. Or actually, only one watchtower. You know what? That's the thing. Might as well go ahead and build stables. I'll probably end up using it in some sort of way. All right. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. That's done. What about you? Build. Archery. Barracks. Supply center. All right. That's all I have for right now. Cool. I don't want to blow all my money right now. That'll do. Now we close out of this, rest, and then it'll be time to head out. Boom, 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 boom. Do 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 do.
I'm gone.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Dreams have puzzled the minds of mortals since ancient times. Strangely, the most obvious explanation of the mystery of dreams has appeared quite recently. The most obvious, but obviously wrong one, is that dreams are but the delirium of a tired mind as it digests the day's events. Ancient humans were much smarter when they thought dreams were messages of good patrons, or the opposite, the interventions of demonic powers. In this case, both hypotheses are correct, illogical as that may be. The commander is asleep. In his anxious dreams, he sees blood-stained stones, smoking torches, rusty chains and bars. Once again, he is in the dungeons of Dresden, chained in a cell. Huge demons lumber around, clawing at the filthy walls with a horrifying sound. Death in their fanged jaws seems imminent, but more painful still is the expectation of tortures that never begin. Unable to move, barely conscious, in a horrible semi-delirium, the commander silently waits for whatever will happen next. The silence, broken only by the sound of rough claws against rusty bars, weighs on the mind like a boulder. The fever of endless expectation is broken by a whisper, a gentle breath of fresh air in the stifling darkness. The ruby eyes of a demoness peer at the commander through the bars. She is similar to the other creatures of the abyss, but also entirely dissimilar. Remember me. I am Arueshalae. You gave me the gift of freedom. Now I will set you free. The chains holding the commander's body crumble to dust. The dark visitor takes a step toward him, passing through the bars as easily as if they were made of paper, and holds out her hand. Fly with me. In response, the commander can only mumble, I've been expecting you. And I have come. The dungeon disappears. Now the demoness and the commander are flying over a moonlit plain. Enemies are hunting you, demons that have somehow acquired unusual powers that are unprecedented among common demons. You are also hunting them. You are trying to figure out who is sending them and where the source of their power lies. I will show you where to find the answer. A finger with a manicured claw points down to a cliff top where stands an ancient fortress slowly crumbling to dust. A bell without a tongue, an insane crone. Make it speak once more, and she won't be able to keep her silence either. She will give you all the answers. Wake up and try to understand what happened in the dream. The images fade away. The commander opens his eyes and whispers a word. Unknown, alien, brought by the passing dream. Green Gates, the name of the fortress. If the demoness is to be believed, what a curious notion. There's a deranged crone hiding there who knows where the demons with these unheard of abilities are coming from. It would be intriguing to learn who this crone is, what she knows, and whether this dream is but a trick to lure the commander to another trap. But we cannot find out without visiting the place from the dream. And after all that, now it's time to finally rest, but then I realized, hold on, I didn't check my spellbook completely. Okay, so let's go through it. I got magic armor and shield for a little bit of defenses, then the rest in expeditious retreat to make the Lich faster. This is more so when I'm running around in town. Otherwise, I really don't need anything from one. Spell level 2, same deal. It's all really defensive, false life, mirror image, blur. I can put this on my tanks, stuff like that. Now we've come to the offensive portion. There's a problem, and I assume it's a bug. I am a Cruoromancer, and obviously I specialize in necromancy, but I cannot put any of the Lich spells into the favorite school slots. So I have to leave that open. Extremely irritating. Extremely irritating. But anyway, spell level 3. We got buff for protection from arrows. It lasts for an hour. So even though we don't have the mythic powers yet, this will stay on for plenty of time. And then we also have see invisibility, which is going to last for 10 minutes per level. Again, it's going to last for plenty of time, so it's easy for the Lich to be able to apply. Everything else goes towards mastery of flesh. Again, it's a Lich power, so it's not affected by target spell resistance, as you see here. So one of the many reasons we have removed spell penetration from our overall build. It'll do 4d8 damage plus caster level to living creatures, and then 2d8 plus caster level damage to undead creatures. Awesome, awesome stuff. Spell level 4, false life greater, a little bit more defense. I need so much defense because some of the necromancy powers are cones, and so later in the game I might end up having to get closer to the enemies and might end up taking some shots, so it's important that I can go ahead and handle that. Dimension Door is also always useful to have around. Protection from energy. I thought I had grabbed, I guess I forgot to grab the first version of this, but I'll do that at some point. And then the Lich, when he has the buff mythic abilities that extend the time duration, he'll be able to have on that elemental protection for 24 hours. And then, of course, a bunch of animate dead summons, so I can combine those with my infusion. And then at level 5, fill up everything with exsanguinate. It's going to do 1d6 damage per caster level, and if the enemies fail their fortitude save, they're going to take 1d6 strength damage and 2d6 bleed damage. So very, very good stuff. And then I also grabbed Stone Skin Communal. It only lasts for 10 minutes right now, but when I know I'm about to go up against a hard boss battle, it'll be nice to be able to throw that on. And then I actually put, what is it called? Meta Magic Selective onto Bone Explosion. Brought that up to level 6. And then Bone Explosion is going to do 1d6 damage per caster level to all the enemies within a, what is it, a 20-foot radius. So originally it would affect everyone, but now since it's selective, it should only affect my enemies. Good stuff. And then I also have False Grace, which is going to give some additional hit points to all of my allies and myself. And then Dispel Magic Greater, just because sometimes it's nice to be able to strip off defenses for a particular enemy. Long term, when I have a few more slots, I'm definitely going to add Siphon Time so that I can haste my allies and slow enemies at the same time. And I'll probably throw on one casting of Bone Shield to give myself some additional protection as well. So that is the Lich's setup as it stands now. Let me just make sure that everybody else has what they need. Yep. Okay. We need one for you, one for Regil. We need one for Camellia. And then Land should probably have one as well, right? Oh, wait, but I don't think it works on Land because he's not wearing armor. But, oh, actually, we can put it on to the Lich Marksman, though, so that'll work. Let's see. Does he need anything else? And then I guess... prayer. Oh, he can have... Sure, you can have one of that. And then prayer is something I use all the time. Oh, that's right. He didn't have this, and so now it's coming up. Okay, cool. Lan and the Lich Marksman will be able to make use of this. Unbreakable Heart is definitely something that's good to have around. And actually, there's nothing else. Oh wait, no. Remove Fear. Remove Fear is good to have. And then at level 2, no. Well, actually, Lan and the Lich can make use of the strength buff. And then anything else from here? Oh, let's see. You can actually, so Sail can make use of that for Lich armor. And that's about it. So here, we'll just fill that up. Here, we'll get 2 casts of effortless armor. That's fine. Just did that. Level 4 restoration. Absolutely need that. And yep, I'm good with that. Okay, Nanio, what's going on with you? You're good there. You're good there. You're good there. Bam. And all that. Yeah, we don't need animal growth. We don't have a pet anymore, so we're good on that. You're automatic. You don't have spells. What about you? What's going on with you? You're all good. Okay. Set up. Now we can go ahead and rest, finally.
My fingers are getting white. How much more time do I have? 20 years? 10? 1? I do not fear death. What if reaching makes me lazy and undisciplined? I hope I do not live to see such a disgrace.
Oh, man. It needs more content in the game. They need to do that ASAP. More Regil Quest. Absolutely. Ooh, my hotbar is a mess. All right. Same there. Outside. Area exit. Do I got all the right people? I do, because we're going to go ahead and get Arueshalae first, then deal with Greyboar's quest. Ah, that was a nice little demon scout coming for us. What's this? Necromancy. Armies get a replenishment of skeletons and zombies equal to value of enemies killed divided by 275. What? After a victory. The cost of recruiting mercenary units increases by 100%. Recruitment growth for trainable units reduces by 50%. Well, that should be interesting to deal with, but we'll have to cover that in the next video. Hope all of you enjoy the content today. If you did, please leave me a like down below, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.